what they lead to. Never in our lifetime have we gone into a State of the Union where the president's rhetoric and the country's reality are so far apart. Donald Trump's first year back in office can be boiled down to three words: costs, chaos, corruption. That's the slogan of Trump 2.0: costs, chaos, corruption. That's what his administration brings to the American people. Let's start with costs. Americans, frankly, don't care what Trump has to say at the State of the Union because they're too worried about the state of their wallets. They're worried about the state of their rent, the state of their energy bills, the state of their health care costs. Democrats offer something different, a future with lower costs, and it's why a few weeks ago we rolled out a housing agenda to help people afford a home and rent, why very soon, led by Ben Ray Lujan, why in a few weeks, led by Ben Ray Lujan, we're going to talk about food costs, especially the price of beef, and Democrats will release new plans in the weeks and months to come to lower the cost of childcare, health care, energy, and so much more. Americans are tired of the chaos. They're tired of masked agents barging into people's homes without warrants. That's not law and order. That's chaos. The American people see it. But sadly, the chaos does not end there. Look at the mess Donald Trump has created with his tariffs. He said, "The hell with you," and doubled down on his tariffs after the Supreme Court struck him down. The hell with the American people and their costs. He had a moment to escape this noose around his neck, the tariffs he proposed, but he doubled down and went right back at him. And finally, we've never had a president as corrupt and as crooked as Trump. While people are paying more for rent and losing insurance, Trump's net worth has soared by at least $1 billion since becoming president. He wants to make himself the richest man in America, and it's with your money, Mr. and Mrs. Taxpayer. That's how he's doing it. We won't get any answers to these things. And one more aspect of corruption. While he'll talk for a long time tonight, we know there's one topic Trump will avoid. When will he finally release all the Epstein files? Another example of the corruption of this administration. Democrats offer Americans something better, a future with lower costs and greater optimism. And finally, I want to thank my good friend Senator Padilla, who will offer a Spanish response to the State of the Union. Senator Padilla is going to tell Americans the story they deserve to hear, one of hope, one of opportunity, where we celebrate the values that make us great. Donald Trump's not focused on tackling costs. He and his cronies seem to be more focused on tackling senators. Instead of driving down costs, he's driving over people's pocketbooks. So tonight, Americans aren't going to get the real State of the Union. Those days are long gone under Trump. What Americans will get is a state of deception, a state of denial. Senator Klobuchar.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chuck. It has truly been a year since Donald Trump has come in. I think we all feel like it's been a lot longer than that. As Chuck noted, costs are up, chaos is up, corruption is up. No one maybe understands that more than our state in the last few months. He has spent his first year in office dividing people, catering to the wealthy and making life harder for everyone else, pitting neighbors against each other by unleashing thousands of untrained, unaccountable, masked ICE agents in the towns, in the streets of Minnesota, creating two justice systems, one for those who can pay to play and one for those who can't. We've seen this firsthand. That Hmong elder that got dragged out of his house after his door got rammed through, what was he supposed to do at that moment? They throw him in a car in his underwear and they found out they got the wrong guy after driving him around for an hour. Or the small business owners hit by these tariffs. My guest to the State of the Union tonight is a brewer from Moorhead, Minnesota, right up near the Canadian border. He's been walloped by these tariffs, walloped, and can barely stay in business. Those are the people that are having to be the roadkill for all of these policies that really don't put the American people first. They put Donald Trump first. Trump knows his agenda is unpopular. That's why I am sure he'll go there with much bluster tonight to the House floor. But what I know is that he's afraid of four things. Number one, he's afraid of the voters. He's afraid of the voters in the midterms. Look at what's happened in these elections, whether it's the Virginia's governor's race, whether it's the legislative race in Texas, whether it's mayor's races from Miami to Omaha. Number two, he's afraid of the word affordability. He's called it a hoax and actually said he wanted to keep housing prices up. Number three, and I didn't see this one coming, it's not on my Wordle guest list, but he is afraid of the word court, C-O-U-R-T, the Supreme Court. And I will note, I didn't think that I'd have the hottest ticket in town, but sitting behind the Supreme Court while Donald Trump looks down on them will be interesting tonight. Number four, he's afraid of the people of Minnesota. Why? Because like so many people across this country, they stood up 50,000 strong in a peaceful march in below zero weather. They stood up and helped strangers get food and help their neighbors and help kids get to school. So while he enriches himself at Americans' expense and the Republicans, sadly, in Congress rubber stamp his divisive agenda, Democrats are fighting to bring down costs, end the chaos, and fight corruption.
Senator Padilla.
Thank you, Senator Schumer, colleagues. Thank you all for being here. Don't want to be too repetitive, but I will add a few dimensions to it I think we can all expect to hear tonight. I have a slightly different way of looking at it. I think we're going to hear two different states of the union. One from the president that's going to be full of lies for sure, and deceptions and distractions and trying to point fingers and blame others for his failures. And they're going to hear the truth. Governor Spanberger's doing a response to the State of the Union after we hear from President Trump, and I'm honored. Thank you, Senator Schumer, for allowing me to also respond to the State of the Union in Spanish. Similar themes that I'm going to be touching upon. Number one, the increased costs, the affordability crunch. And we've seen for the last 13 months under Donald Trump, a Republican majority and a White House working together to put billionaires first at the expense of working families. Working families are the ones that are dealing with these higher prices, small business owners dealing with the impact of the tariffs, which we knew were unlawful from the beginning, and the Supreme Court finally made that official last Friday. We're dealing with a president and a Republican majority in Congress that is increasing our healthcare costs, making healthcare either more expensive or too expensive, all to underwrite tax breaks for billionaires. Democrats have a better way. We will work to bring down everyday costs for working families. I can't ignore what's happening, not just Minnesota. It started in my hometown of Los Angeles, and it's reached every corner of the country. Out of control, ICE, CBP, and other federal agents violating constitutional rights each and every day through their mass deportation agenda, trying to achieve some false quotas by Stephen Miller. This is not a focus on the worst of the worst. This is not a focus on dangerous, violent criminals. The vast majority of the people that have been detained, arrested, many deported without due process, do not have criminal convictions. They've rounded up even legal immigrants. They've rounded up even United States citizens and veterans. This is chaos. This is terror meant to distract from the failed economic agenda and more, and we will call it out. A third area that I'm going to touch on tonight, because we can't ignore it, is not just our democracy broadly, but elections. The Trump administration is not being shy about threatening to undermine and steal this November elections. They know that their record is not just unpopular, but has been so harmful to working families that their only hope to stay in power is to initiate a voter purge. That's why the Department of Justice has been weaponized to try to get their hands on voter files from states across the country. That's why Secretary Noem was in Arizona last week, saying that their goal is to make sure that the, quote, the right people vote. And that's why through failed executive orders and very bad legislation known as the Save America Act, they're trying to make it harder for eligible Americans to register to vote and actually cast their ballot. And so we will come away from tonight with both a call to action, making sure people start today preparing to exercise their right to vote this November, because that is how we will realize real change and hold this administration accountable. But also remind people that we've been through dark chapters in our nation's history. And we've always come out of these dark periods into brighter days. It's up to the people to make it so. When I returned from the Homeland Security press conference experience back in June of last year from Los Angeles, that's one of the things that I shared with my colleagues. Only we can save ourselves. Nobody's coming to rescue us. Only Americans will save America. And that will be the contrast to the lies and deceptions of President Trump tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Padilla. We know you're going to knock them dead.